Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Latched Mama Podcast. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, the Latched Mama Podcast is a podcast for the mothers in the trenches of motherhood. This week, we are talking about the week to come, which is World Breastfeeding Week, which is always the first week of August. So we're going to talk a little bit about history at Latched Mama of it and what we have planned for this year.
You're listening to Latched Mama Podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Wirt, busy mom of 6 and owner of LatchedMama.com. Join us each week as we talk about pregnancy, breastfeeding, postpartum, and all things motherhood.
Hi, friend.
Hi.
So for those of you who don't know, World Breastfeeding Week is the first week of August every year, which is a little weird from a sales perspective because it doesn't always start on a Monday and end on a Sunday. It starts kind of like midweek and it goes like all the way around. Lindi was just talking about the fact that she didn't know how we started it. We did not start World Breastfeeding Week.
Like, I'm sure it started smaller, but I think you had a big thing before I started working here.
So for those of you who don't know, my family goes on basically one vacation a year, and it is to my husband's 750 square foot condo, 800 square feet. I don't know. Somebody's going to go find it on VRBO and do the math for me and tell me exactly what it is. But it's, I think, maybe 800 square feet. And we go to this little place outside of Myrtle Beach. It's called Garden City every year for a week. And one year I realized, and so we share it with some other families. It's not a timeshare anymore, but we share it with like 3 other families. And every year it moves dates a week later. So you probably could do the math to see when we did World Breastfeeding Week for the first time.
Why does it keep moving?
Because we share it with family. We share it with 2 other families. So every year our weeks move forward a week. So this year we're going September 16th. So if you were to go backwards, you could figure out how many years we've been doing World Breastfeeding Week. Because the reason why I bring this up was because literally we arrived at the beach one night. It was I had Caroline. So we had 3 children, my husband and myself, and we arrived at this condo that felt small then, if you could only imagine what it's like now with 6 kids. But
wait, is this where like
I decided
everything fell apart?
No. I decided to launch World Breastfeeding Week. So I had left the company. Like, the company was not around. Like, I was gone. Eric was gone, which, like I said, there's really only one time of year where we both leave and hope for the best in terms of server issues and all of that stuff. But anyways,
does he travel
I don't
with
know
like
what
a
happens.
laptop though?
Yeah, I mean, we both do, and we upgraded the internet at the condo and stuff.
But not the layout of
the layout of no. So there are these pictures. I don't remember. He probably remembers if I saw like an article about World Breastfeeding Week or something. But I remember reaching out to the staff at home. So it was Claire, her brother Connor, and Nicole. And I remember saying, "Hey guys, we're gonna try something." And I don't, it's so funny because all the numbers become jumbled in my head over the years. And literally we could have just been doing like maybe like 30 orders a day at the time. Like nothing big, like nothing like we do now. But I was like, let's just try something. And I think we had extra teething necklaces, and we had some like from like the beginning days of starting the company and like MommyCon moments and stuff. And
had you moved into a smaller place?
We were still in the Brandenburg Business Park. We were in the next stage up. So we were in warehouse number 2. And we had some Latched Mama shirts that didn't have feeding access and some that did, that we had made at the very, very beginning. We had some like infinity scarves that I had gotten as like accessories for MommyCon and like the beginning pop-up shops. And we had some teething necklaces.
Okay.
And I said, what happens if we offer them free stuff if they shop during this week? And it was literally one of the first sales we had ever done. But it was hilariously awesome and cool, but really terrible for the fact that like I had these 3 people who were running the business who were expecting, just to come in on summer days and, ship a few orders. I want to say that Connor was in college at the time. I don't even remember what was going on, but they were not expecting what was going to happen.
Were you gone for 2 weeks?
So no, we were only gone for a week, but we were gone for the week. So we were gone for the entire World Breastfeeding Week.
Okay, so what did you offer?
I really think it was like I don't think we even had canvas totes that year. I think it was like free gift with purchase.
So with just a simple like
so I think we threw in maybe a necklace or a scarf or a shirt. I don't really remember exactly what we did, but it ended up being a wild success. And they were kind of like, what the hell? And I still have pictures, selfies that they took from shipping out orders. Like, this is not what the week was supposed to be. We weren't there. Eric just kept turning ads up because it was working. I mean, it was great, but I also remember like being so excited and amazed that the company could do what it was doing, but also trying to keep 3 kids alive at the beach. I mean, because they were young. They were, 4, 2, and 6 months old.
Yeah,
or 8 months old.
Any swimmers? Had any gone through?
No. And so, I mean, they had gone through ISR, but I mean, that's not going to keep you alive in the ocean. Okay. And I just remember it being chaos, but really, really fun. And some of them, I have really, really cool pictures from that week of us at the beach, just really kind of leaning into small business, wonderful life. And literally the only ad that week was a still image, and we can drop this in the group, a still image of the shirt on a mannequin, like a dress form, and then the necklace around it, and then the scarf around it. It was really funny. It was cute. Aww. So that was the beginnings of World Breastfeeding Week, and then we've carried it through every year since then. It got a little out of control. I mean, not in a bad way. I mean, revenue got super, super high.
Was there a year after that one, but before I came, that you like offered more?
I think we offered basically the same thing again.
Okay.
We might have like upgraded the shirt potentially. And I think we added, I think that was like the first canvas oxytocin bag, maybe, you know what? I think it was a You're Beautiful bag or something. I don't know. We added a canvas tote at one point, and then we just started adding more and more and more. And the sales increased and increased and increased. You know, we sometimes compare it at Latched Mama to like Amazon's Prime Day, because it really helps us plan for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But then World Breastfeeding Week actually got larger for us than Cyber Monday and Black Friday. So
that's wild.
So here we are though in 2023. We've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Made some changes internally. You know, what was happening was that the sales volume got so high during these sales that the incentive amount and the free product amount also got so high that it was kind of this compounding equation that resulted in not a whole lot of profit for us, but a whole lot of excitement around the brand. It always exposed all of our internal structures, whether it be our internal issues, whether it be struggles. Struggles is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Whether it be from inside the warehouse or on the marketing team or leadership. So it's like kind of one of those things. Don't they put like planes and like wind tunnels or something to see like if the bolts come loose when like the wind gets really high and stuff and the plane goes really fast? I don't know. I feel like it's just it's a pressure test, I guess.
Retail, there are your general ups and downs, but this showed like the crazy low to the crazy high, and how is that possible to do with staffing and all the things.
And,
so,
you know, there were definitely moments where it didn't make a whole lot of sense. So this year we're scaling back a bit. For those of you who are still listening about the history of Latched Mama and World Breastfeeding Week, we're scaling back a bit. We are taking our foot off the gas. We are doing it a little bit the same in terms of just the more you buy, the more you get. But we're going to regroup a bit this year and see what this sale looks like in coming years. So there is still an amazing sale going on. You get awesome best-selling product with purchase. But we're going to probably internally cap it at a certain amount this year, just to not quite have the pressure test at the same intensity as we normally have it at.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Allow us to breathe a bit.
Yeah. But we're still really excited. We've got like some new goodies. Maybe not brand new clothes like in some of the past years we've given at, you know, a top tier or things like that. But
We have new things.
We do have a couple fun new things.
To put my new Latched Mama pop socket on the back of my phone.
There's some fun accessories.
There are
which
some
is kind of how it started.
Accessories.
With the scarf and the necklace.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have
Yeah.
little accessories coming. We have literally a free gift with every purchase this week, which I think is how we started too. I think I put a necklace in with every order. But they are shipping. They're actually leaving tomorrow and coming our way. And they're adorable. They're like the best retro throwback thing ever.
Yes.
I'm excited. And then there's also the education piece that we try to pull in every year as well, to really use some of that ad spend and those marketing dollars that were, God, my head is not working, that we are spending to bring in the revenue, to then go back out and do some education. About, why breastfeeding is important, not necessarily for, a mom and a baby, but just why the advocacy is important so women can feed their babies anywhere and everywhere they want and feel confident and protected and safe and all of those things that we want them to feel.
Agreed.
So, and it still makes me it's crazy because the company's 9 years old this year. We were like one of the first brands and or people to put breastfeeding on Facebook. Like, I remember when we first started, we had a fight with them that like boobs were not like these sexual things, and all of our ads would get shut down, and then we would have to go back and say, no, this is natural. This is something that's supposed to be like, you cannot not let us sell our product just because we're showing breastfeeding on there. So when we talk about advocacy and we talk about, showing up and making change and really, really trying to push the envelope forward, it's really easy to say, oh, well, what have you done, in the last year or whatever. But it's really interesting to look at like on an aggregate where we are 9 years later. And I think society has moved forward, but I also think it's been showing up in the space and encouraging and supporting and making sure that, we're a voice for women everywhere. So
yeah, because there's still that fight today. We still see those issues with ads and
all
things like
the
that
time.
all the time.
But now the approval process of getting them back approved is much faster than it was before. Before we were really educating. We were actually talking to humans at Facebook and saying, "Hey, no, this is not cool." And now we have a little bit of a workaround that keeps it a little bit more automated, which is really nice to see kind of the progression of that all. So we're taking on TikTok next. We'll see how that goes. That full speed ahead next week on that, in terms of just whether we get kicked off there as well for boobies. I feel like they're going to probably be a little bit more supportive on the boob front.
Yeah, I'm wondering because we've already started a little bit, and I don't know if we've seen some pushback on
a little bit, but not quite the same that we saw in Meta 9 years ago. So we'll see. We'll go from there. Any best World Breastfeeding Week story memories?
I still remember, and it might have been my first, is when Kennedy actually came in and did the video, and I think there were a lot of high schoolers still working and things like that, and we were like tossing the
that was like the best freebies ad ever.
It was really cool.
Like the last
but it
one
was all
was
these
a baby.
like kind of high schoolers saying like the facts and things like that.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. Yes, and the baby at the table.
Yeah, the baby.
Still vividly remember that.
Yeah, and then it was good. It's always a really, really fun time. Some of my favorite memories, not last World Breastfeeding Week, but the World Breastfeeding Week before that, it was super, super successful. It was like pandemic-y, so it was really hard to pull in the amount of people that we needed in the warehouse to get the orders out, and we were underwater, and it was hard. Like probably some of the hardest leadership situations I've been in since we started the company, because they call it, sometimes they call it the Oprah effect, when you grow in revenue and sales faster than you can actually grow operationally. And we had hit this place where I honestly had no idea how we were going to get through and how we were going to get the orders out. But I was super, super pregnant. That's what I'm saying, is that I somehow in this universe, how much can we put on Melissa's plate? I have 3 October babies since the conception of World Breastfeeding Week. So for a significant amount of these World Breastfeeding Weeks, I've also been super pregnant, somehow had to get through World Breastfeeding Week, have a baby, and then jump into Black Friday and Cyber Monday because, high intensity leadership / parenting is apparently my calling in life. But one of my greatest memories is that year. So 2 years ago, somebody, I don't know whether it was Helen Cohn, it was somebody showed up with just like treats, like they DoorDashed us.
Yeah, I remember that. Was it cookies?
Somebody sent an edible arrangement, and I remember the chocolate covered pineapple and the fruit just being absolutely positively what little baby Matthew needed and what I needed in my belly. And I remember there's just a picture of me just sitting with my feet up, surrounded by so much stress and so many orders, eating the pineapple and just being so incredibly happy and feeling so loved and taken care of, and the idea that people got what we were trying to do. Which is so interesting. Yeah. But
I feel like I remember seeing pictures too, and maybe it was with some of the younger employees, like working an overnight or something like that. And maybe that was Black Friday, but I don't know. But just like the love and care given to getting out the rest of those orders. Or I remember like your husband, and maybe it was Kat who came in and picked like so many, like you walked in and it was picking. Just bins of picked items then to like try to get out the door.
I mean, it's always a very, very stressful time for us. But what happens with that revenue is that revenue then goes to fund the fall and the winter orders, where this year we don't need it to, which is nice. I mean, we need some of it too, but we're in a different situation this year, which I'm super excited about. Our fall stuff is going to be on its way next week, in preparation to fire up some ads and try and get things going and stuff. So, so I think that, from a business standpoint, you grow and you learn, and you kind of shrink back down, and then you grow again. And when you grow again, you grow a little bit differently and a little bit more strategically. And then you contract again, and then you grow in a different way. It's almost like a tree that tries to find the sunlight, like the growth kind of stunts for a little while, and you go in a different direction, and it's
kind of prune it back and here and
absolutely
here.
And it's a really, really cool learning process. If you had ever told me that this is what business ownership would feel like, I would have told you that you were crazy, that this is not it. But it's so funny how many seasoned people have come up to me and just basically said, "Oh, you're just in your middle school years." And it's so funny how it's just this common term in business ownership, that you just hit this stage where it feels like middle school. And it's interesting. It's this really, really uncomfortable growth period where your face is broken out and you don't feel pretty every day, and you don't quite know what direction to go or who to trust or who to lean on or what to do next. And it's so interesting. But if you talk to every business owner, they all remember their middle school years more than they remember sometimes some of their successes or failures,
so
which
interesting.
It's so interesting.
I'd love to hear stories.
What'd you say?
I'd love to hear stories of like other people's middle school years, so to speak.
It's fascinating, but it's the stuff you just don't, you don't talk about as much. I mean, I think we're pretty transparent as a business. So people probably get more from us than others, but it's just, you just keep showing up and finding your way, and, finding the moments of happiness and the moments of struggle, and learning as much as you can and coming out on the other side. So, I don't know. This has been a fun little trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
So World Breastfeeding Week, guys, August 1st through the 7th, I guess. Free clothes with every purchase, or free clothes once you spend. Are you going to commit to this? No, we're not going to commit to it. There are multiple tiers this year. Feel free to check them out. It's going to be all over the website, all over the Facebook group, as well as the page. But there is a free gift with every order. I designed it myself late night. Enjoy it. Enjoy the retro throwback. Hopefully some of you remember them from your childhood. And we're going to have a fun week, and then go right into the fall and do it again for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Yay.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.